Hi, everybody. This is Deborah Morris with Deborah Morris Home Team, Keller Williams Advantage Realty. Here again, talking to one of my preferred lenders, Stacy Luna from Atlantic Bay Mortgage, with another tip of the week. So here is our words of wisdom from Stacy Luna.
Thank you so much for having me, Deb. You guys do such an amazing job at the Morris team. I just can't say enough about you. Your assistance that you give to your clients in your sphere is just fantastic. So I really appreciate you having me on today. I want to talk about a couple of things. One is it's the law of diminishing intent. And if you've never heard of this, what it means is, and this is developed actually by Jim Rohn, and you may have heard of it in other circles, maybe in any kind of coaching or anything else like that, but diminishing intent means the further out we get from something we intend to do, the likelihood of us actually doing it is next to none. So a lot of people, when they're thinking about buying a home, one of the first steps is obviously taking a look at, do they qualify, right? And so we look at their credit, and oftentimes we do find there are certain things on their credit that either they're surprised about, they didn't really remember, and things that may need to be taken care of. So my thought here on the, as it relates to this law is do it now. Like if you say, okay, I'm going to call on that, do it as soon as you hang up the phone with the lender that you're speaking to, because the sooner you do it, the more likely you're going to resolve it. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to resolve it on that first contact, but what it does mean is that you're taking those steps to make it happen. Now, the other thing I want to discuss on credit, there are 3 myths and 1 truth. Okay, I'm sorry, 3 truths and 1 myth, right? So one thing that is true about credit scoring is that if you make 1 late payment on a credit card, which is also called a revolving account, and you have a high balance to your available credit. So for example, you have a $3,000 credit card and you have $2,800 charged on it. If those 2 things happen at the same time and you miss 1 payment on anything, that can actually move your score down by almost 100 points. Wow, right? Crazy. I literally just saw it happen to a client of mine. So that is one thing you need to be careful of. Any missed payments on a revolving debt will dramatically drop your score, especially if it's coupled with high balances to the available credit. Ideally, you want to keep under 30% charged on all cards at any time, right? The next one is that revolving credit this is another truth, is that the #1 short-term way to improve your score is to have revolving credit. So if you have a bunch of installment loans, like student loans, car payments, personal loans, your score is going to kind of remain stagnant, and it's not going to give you that push you need to get to the next level. And it will be near impossible to move it up unless you've got revolving credit that is showing the bureaus that you are a good credit user. And by that, we mean charging a small amount, paying it off, charging some. It doesn't always mean paying it off completely, but just showing that you know how to make minimum payments over a longer period of time. That's what they want to see. That's what's going to help your score, okay? And then the next thing is that a soft pull. So what do I mean by soft pull? When you may have heard this before, this term, but we can pull what's called a soft pull on somebody's credit, meaning we're only going to pull 2 of the 3 bureaus, and so it's not going to actually hit your credit score, right? We can do, most lenders can do that. It would definitely be something I would ask somebody before they do it. If you're maybe 6 to 8 months out or even more from buying, if you're not looking to buy in the next couple months, I would definitely want to get a soft pull done. Or if you're just really like, I'm not really sure, I think my credit maybe stinks right now. And keep in mind, your stink versus what I think stinks are 2 different things. Often I find people think, oh, my credit's awful, and it's like a 680. I'm like, that's not awful. We can totally work with that. So, but a soft pull doesn't actually hit your credit score. So that is not a big deal, and you're going to be fine. It's not going to hurt your credit score. The one myth is that whenever a mortgage company, or this also goes for car loans, whenever we pull your credit, and let's say you go somewhere else and they pull your credit right away, it's going to hit your score twice or more, right? Multiple times. It doesn't actually hit your credit score if it's done within a 2-week window. Okay. So within 2 weeks, bureaus expect that this is something you potentially are shopping for. And so it doesn't hurt your score. Now, what it can change though, I will tell you this, because some people are like, well, my credit score last week was this with this company. And I'm like, well, that's because something else in your bureau actually changed your score, meaning a new payment posted or didn't post. You increased how much credit you have on a specific credit card. So those are the things that can move your score within that 2-week window and make it seem like I pulled a completely different number when I really didn't. Like just the pull didn't actually affect your score going down. It is something else that happened on your credit report. So that's my credit tips of this week. I know it's a lot, but you know, my biggest takeaway for you is if you're looking to buy a home, now is definitely the time. We all, I mean, us in the industry, we all know that this is a great time to buy. The rates are super low. The market is super energized, and you need to be ready. And so I know we've talked about this before, but get pre-approved, meaning TBD approved. You can actually write a contract and know that your loan is in place. And then, but sometimes that does involve some credit attention, let's call it that way, right? And but the key is with that law of diminishing intent, just do it now. If we refer you out to a credit repair company, now is the time to take action, because the further you stick your head in the sand and not address it, it's not going to get any better. And in fact, it can get a lot worse. So take care of it now, get yourself completely ready to buy a home and enjoy the process.
Well, that's definitely a lot of information. So I don't know about you, but I'm even in the field and I'm sitting here going, wow, well, that's a little bit different than what I heard, you know, or, you know, I'm just going to tell them, just call the lender and bring honest as you can with a lender, because that's the best way that they are going to be able to help you as a consumer. And because everybody's different. So 100%. I really appreciate that time, and hopefully we'll get people to be a little bit more aware of the fact they need to act now. Absolutely. And every situation being different, they need to talk to a dependable lender. And of course, thank you so much for being one of my preferred lenders. You're great. And how do they reach you if they do have a question?
Thank you for asking. They can reach me. My website is www.stacyluna.com. That's STACYLUNA.com. Or my cell is 407-832-3729. And you can call or text that number at any time.
Fantastic. Well, you have a great day, and we look forward to talking to you again.
All right. Thanks. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.